On this episode of the Meliza Show Quarantine series, I chat with Wumi Agunbiade, who is a coach, entrepreneur, and former pro hooper to name a few. We talk quarantine emotions, what she's cooking in the kitchen, and her passion and purpose. Stay safe and enjoy the tea. Thank you for being here. Sorry that you had to come out of your house to do all this.
It's all good. It's really nice out. If it was raining, it'd be another
I've
story.
been rescheduled. Let's just not. How's everything going?
I've been good. The past couple days was thinking, all right, what can I do right now that can help people? People as far as the kids that are following me and their parents and the basketball community. So within the past 72 hours, came up with the idea of hosting a panel and next week, really.
Nice.
And it'll just consist of some basketball, female basketball icons, I guess to say, people that have kind of paved the way, and then just invite it to anyone who really wants to be in on the conversation, just talking about this whole time and how it affects the game, so that's what I've been. Yeah.
I want to quote your last Instagram caption where you're like, my goal in life is to help for a living by using my passion as a vehicle that fulfills my purpose. And
Yes.
When I read that, I was like, that's me too. I totally hear you on that. People, obviously have their own passions in life and they go about doing what they got to do, but there's always that deeper connection to what your purpose is. And using that caption reminded me of that, and I was like, oh, okay, so can you talk more to me about where that passion derived from?
Yeah, so I mean, that I was gonna share that post, of course, right? But then it was it's so much more than, to me, it's so much more than the game. It's about people and helping people, but doing it in a way where I'm helping them, but in the same time, in the same breath, I'm also fulfilling what I believe is my purpose, right? And my purpose comes from my passion, that being basketball, and just genuinely caring for people and trying to help them get to where they want to get to. So to me, my whole life has been surrounded by the game of basketball, and it hasn't been forced. And I think that's the really cool part about it. Never had mom, dad, anyone forcing me to play the game. It was something that I loved, and it was something that meant a lot to me. And then I see people who are playing the game, and the game means just as much, if not more, to them. And it's I want to be able to help you. So that's kind of where the caption came from, and that's where my passion and my purpose all ties in together.
Amazing. We obviously back in, I think it was March 8th, March 10th, around that time, we had a full deep conversation courtside at the OSBA final championships, and oh my gosh, and I look back right now and I'm like, wow, that was the last in-person event tournament that we were all together, and I fully got to converse with you about everything. We had a heart-to-heart about everything. It was touched on building our brand. It touched on, what we want in life. And I see so many of the things that you're already have accomplished and what you've been doing, and that all ties in again with your passion. But could you catch us up a little bit? Obviously you've rebranded to Hooper's Loop. Tell me more.
All right. So first of all, that conversation, it was next level. I was not expecting that. I was expecting to go watch a game, sit down, but no, I appreciate that conversation, because I think that led to multiple things unfolding. And then of course, here we are talking right now, but really the whole rebranding, me switching from Make It Hoop, that everyone's mispronouncing, I completely understand, but the whole premise around that was trying to help young individuals figure out who they are within the game of basketball. Because I find oftentimes a lot of basketball players, once the ball stops bouncing, they're not quite sure who they are without the game, and then if I know this and I'm able to help alleviate that, then I feel as though I'm doing my job, So rebranded to Hooper's Loop, And the idea around that is trying to keep basketball players and coaches all in the loop of things, so I just want to be the person that keeps things moving and flowing, so just with my experiences, being able to talk about all that and connecting with young athletes and their families, first generation Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that resonates with a lot of athletes today, where their parents aren't quite sure how to navigate something as complex as the recruitment process, right? And I know I struggled, my parents struggled. So with knowing this and having all that experience throughout the recruitment process as an athlete and as a coach, I feel like I can help. So Hooper's Loop is really about just trying to keep everyone in the loop, keeping things going, and just connecting the dots with players, athletes, coaches, families.
Love it. And sorry, you just brought up losing yourself or not knowing who you are. And we're obviously in lockdown, we're in quarantine, hence the quarantine series. I got my tea here. But
Hey. I got water. It's close enough.
You know what? Cheers. Cheers to that. Some hydration. Hey. But the topic of losing yourself, I've actually shared that as well a few days ago. I felt like I lost myself during this whole quarantine experience, especially when they announced we're not going to be able to go outside for a hot minute. We're going to be trapped inside. We've got to do what we've got to do. Could you talk about the importance of, having that kind of guidance, but what someone might be going through, especially as an athlete, when they announced that there wasn't any more NBA, all those emotions? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how the athletes felt and feel, especially right now where it's summer and this is AAU season. And I think back to when I was playing and when it was AAU season, man, like there was just a different type of feel to the game, and it's basketball, yes, but it's also the team, like being with your team and traveling with your team and, having fun on the road and all those little things that fit into the place of, summer and playing AAU, so like with that being stripped away, I'm sure a lot of athletes are feeling kind of confused, lost. Parents are also feeling the pressure of their kids because they're looking at their kids thinking, man, like my kid's losing opportunities, so like just with knowing that, it's like, all right, what can I do? What can we do to help? And for me, it's been reaching out to different coaches and talking to them about what they're doing as far as like recruiting, and also like talking to players and from all over, trying to figure out what they're doing and then also helping them. So, whether it's watching film with them or just talking with them and letting them know that it's going to be okay, because if one door closes, rest assured another one will open, so like you can't always look at disappointments as disappointments, because oftentimes they're really a blessing in disguise.
And on the note of blessing in disguise, what has your experience been like in quarantine? How have you been coping? What emotions have you been going through? Talk to me about it.
Man, I've been super, super busy, busier than I thought. When it first started, I'm like, okay, whew, but then it's like, I have so much more time to get on Zoom calls, phone calls, chats, this and that. And next thing you know, the day's gone. It's like, man, I haven't stopped, so I got into a phase where I was doing one thing after the other without breaks. Wow. And yeah, it was a lot. And then I hit a point where it was like, hey, I just don't have any motivation, zero drive. I need to shut it down. So like, I cut back on the calls. I cut back on my computer time, the screen time, and had to just like let myself be, and let myself just feel whatever it was that I needed to feel, because I was using everything else as, it almost felt like a distraction, just going from one thing to the next. You don't really allow yourself to like take things in. So like I've been through like the waves of different emotions, trying to figure out like what to do. But sometimes like the best thing to do is absolutely nothing, and just allowing yourself to feel. But yeah.
That was one thing that I also forgot and didn't realize, that this downtime and this time to just do absolutely nothing is a part of the healing, and it's a part of the emotions that you're going through. And
100%.
what is something that you kind of, or something that you want to empower in athletes or anyone that's going to be listening to this video, who may be going through something during this quarantine?
I'd probably say just like take things as they are, and do your best to stay ready mentally, physically, emotionally, like eat right as best as you can, you know, allow yourself to feel, to be a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know some of us get into a state of I have to be superwoman or superman, and it's like, yes, we're all our own heroes in some degree, in some way, but like it's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel unmotivated. But then the flip side, it's like allow yourself to feel that, but don't allow yourself to get stuck in it. Do something. So like the weather's starting to warm up, got blue skies, go outside, enjoy it, like enjoy what nature's given to us, enjoy the people that you're around, like take time to get on the phone, talk to people as you feel, and it really comes back to what it is that you're feeling and allowing yourself to feeling that and not feeling like you're doing something that's off the grid because it's not what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that's probably what I would say, just allowing kids or telling them to just like let your hair down, and enjoy this time as much as you can, because hey, we may never see anything like this again. Be safe doing it all.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I want to touch more on what you just said. It's like, be yourself, be touch into that human nature that you've got, and
Yeah.
be appreciative of everything that's around you. Could you actually get into a bit more of what's next for you, and the things that you're doing?
Yeah. So like I said, my main focus right now is Hooper's Loop.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is geared towards young women in middle school, high school, trying to use the game as their vehicle, similar to the way I did. So I want to be able to help them use this and exhaust the game as much as possible. But while doing that, helping them develop off the court and prepare them for life after basketball, and showing them and putting a light and a lens on, all the skills that you learn on the court, they all transfer over to, off the court. It's the being able to be a part of a team is huge, because you can't do anything in this life alone. Like at some point you'll need somebody or people in your circle, and you'll need a group of people to like really make things happen. And knowing how to operate within those teams, those groups, can definitely help you as an individual, but then also like as a group. So there's different things that we can learn from the game. I want to highlight them. I want to bring back people who have paved the way for myself, paving the way for those to come, and just give credit where it's due, and just show these kids that, look, like possibilities are endless. Like just use the game and use us. But yeah.
Let's get into that a little more. Your experience of getting recruited by all these colleges, and I remember reading in that article that you didn't have a mentor, you didn't have anyone to kind of direct you in place. How did you overcome that?
Man, I had no choice but to just go with my gut and intuition. And I didn't have a how-to manual as to how to like navigate the recruitment process or what it was even about. Didn't know that certain programs and degrees that you get in the US aren't honored, or they're not acknowledged in Canada. Didn't know that. I consider myself very, very lucky and blessed, for ending up in a program that I learned after the fact was a great program. Got my degree in psychology, learned a ton, and it applies very well to what I'm doing right now. But like going back to the recruitment process, it was, I didn't know the best school from the worst school. I didn't know the best program from the worst program, and who can blame me? So like, right. So in going through that, it's again where I feel like I need to help people like figure that all that stuff out and help them create a how-to manual. And any type of programming that I have, like I want you to be there, like front and center, to take it all in. And if you're not there, don't worry, I'll share it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Just you receive something, it's not for you to hold on to, it's for you to then share it.
100%.
Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned that, because oftentimes people go through the motions, they get their experience, but they don't share it. And how is it going to give back to the community? And again, everybody's different. They have their own ways of doing that. But I love that you've already made that impact in not only Toronto, but like the whole basketball community as a whole. And it's inspiring to see, and I love to see, obviously, women of color in that space. Talk to me about coaching. I saw your stories, you're reposting all of your next opportunities. Tell me more.
Yeah. So the coaching just kind of came with the journey, and stopped playing and immediately started coaching at University of Pittsburgh as a graduate assistant. Got my master's degree in business while coaching. That was over, and then I decided to come back home. Was actually more so forced to come back home because of my visa getting delayed. That's another story. But yeah, so I came back home, and the opportunity with the 905 presented itself, and I seized it. And this past season has been one to remember. I worked with phenomenal people, learned a ton about basketball, but like also just like the collaboration of having so many different silos of people but working so well together in order to help a team win. And to look back and see the Raptors winning a championship last season and seeing how they got that done with the group that they got that, it all makes sense because they work so well together. And that's what I'm talking about, teamwork, like understanding your role in a team and what you're good at and doing that to the best of your abilities, and with the 905 this past season, I saw that many times where everyone's just getting after it, doing their job as best as they can to help the team win, so learned a ton there. And another opportunity that recently presented itself was working with the CEBL under Charles Kissy, working for Guelph Nighthawks, and
who is also your colleague as in the Raptors 905. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, and he also coached me when I was like a teenager.
Wow.
So it was just really cool how like the world, like everything just worked in a circle.
Full circle. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So like, just this opportunity is gonna be amazing. I already know it. I'm working with people that I'm familiar with, people I've seen in gyms. So I know it's gonna be an awesome summer once everything gets off the ground and we're able to get back in the gym. I know it's gonna be a really good one.
Yeah,
Really
I'm excited for you. What are you most excited about though?
As far as like the CEBL or just like beyond?
I mean, everything. We can talk and we can get into that after the CEBL.
Yeah. So as far as the CEBL goes, I'm most excited to have a lot more hands-on, like with the 905, I absolutely did. But I think now this is another step forward in my coaching path, where I'm going to have a lot more say, a lot more experience to add to what we've got going on with the Nighthawks. So I'm excited to start experimenting some things, and taking all the practices and all and trying to implement and execute them here with the Nighthawks.
Love it.
Yeah.
For me, or I was going to say, we personally met over food.
Yes.
Way back at that meeting where I was there. Here's some lasagna and salad. Yeah. What have you been eating during quarantine?
Oh man, a lot, a lot of like.
You and I both.
I've been very mindful of what I'm eating though, because I mean you're not doing as much movement wise, so I've been eating a lot of like fruits, veggies, trying to eat clean, trying to stay away from processed foods. Yeah, and then also just like cooking quite a bit more than I was before, just because of the time. And that's also where the balance comes in, like spending time doing things that you don't typically get to do, but then also like having to balance everything else that you need to get done. So I've been eating good. I'll say that. I've been eating good. My most recent dish that I made was, you might be familiar, ackee and saltfish.
Yes, I will
Yeah,
have that every morning if I could.
yeah.
Ackee is expensive though.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a treat. It's a treat. So had that with green banana, like a Jamaican dish.
Yum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I've
I
been
just
eating good.
I got my Jamaican patty fix yesterday. Shout out PJ's. I
Okay,
don't know if you've
there
ever
you
had
go.
it, but
No, I'm surprised you didn't make it. I'm
oh,
surprised you didn't make it.
it's so funny. I've been making a ton of empanadas. I'm like, if I can make an empanada, I can definitely make a patty. So let me go make a patty. You know what? I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be one of my goals for the rest of quarantine. Make
All right.
a patty
I like it.
and send
I
it to
like
me.
it. There it is. Yeah, you made a risotto. You made a risotto the other day, and I was like, holy moly! Like, yeah, like, can I just leave my bowl on like the doorstep, and then, just, oh man,
Please do. It'd be nice to have some visitors.
oh man, don't tempt me, because I will. I'll bring all my Tupperwares, leave them on your front step.
I love that. What else have you been up to during quarantine? Have you been binge watching anything? What kind of
Yeah,
activities? How have you been staying active? Because that is a challenge for me, I can't lie.
yeah. So binge watching, Money Heist, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, really really good. So finish that. Um, Also been watching Dead to Me. It's not bad. It's not bad if
What's
you
that
get the
about?
chance. This wife loses her, or she's a widow, loses her husband in a car accident. He was actually hit and run, like one of those incidents, and the person that hit him was, or became, a good friend of the widow. Widow has no idea that this girl killed her husband, but the plot is really good, and the one scene leads to another where it's like, what, like, how did that happen, but anyhow, it's good.
Yeah.
You'd want to check it out. I think you'd like it.
Noted.
You can add it to your list.
I've been taking notes whenever people tell me these new shows and stuff. So I'm gonna do that. Dead
Yeah,
to Me, you
yeah,
said.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Noted.
yeah.
And
um,
active,
Staying
yes.
active, yeah. So brought up my rollerblades, and
Okay.
I've just been loving them. Like, I've had them since like high school. Luckily, my feet haven't grown, so I've just been like just in my neighborhood, going to, like, I rollerbladed to Walmart the one day, and it took me about an hour,
Okay.
but it was a lot of fun.
That's
Um, brought my flip flops in my book bag, so like switched them out, and went to Walmart, got some groceries. Had like my hands full of groceries, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? I didn't think through this, so I ended up taking the bus back home. But yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was fun. It's like stuff like that where it's like, I would never be able to do this any other time.
yeah. What an
So
adventure.
yeah,
I haven't had my rollerblades since I think grade school. Yeah, around the same time, and
okay,
haven't touched them yet. So I've been on a bike. I've been on a bike during this quarantine, and the nice weather
nice.
has been helping. So
Trust me, that makes the world of a difference. So again, like with the sun out, blue skies, go enjoy it. Yeah,
I am
for
here
sure.
for it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we wrap it up?
Uh,
Anything you
not
want to leave
really.
for the people?
Uh, no, nothing off top. Nothing off top.
I know I'm putting you on the
There
spot.
goes my nephew. He just had.
Hi.
Yeah, but just been spending time with family and just enjoying all of that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, not often do we get time to just like be in the house together. So really, really enjoying this time. Yeah, if you're at home, and as, I don't know, annoyed as you might get because mom or dad's knocking on your door, or little brother, kid sister is running up and down the house, like, it's not going to happen all the time, so just take it for what it is and just enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am here with you completely on that. But thank you so much for spending your time to talk to me today. It means a
100%.
lot. I know we're going to continue to collaborate as well as converse and
For sure.
continue to have these motivational talks with each other. Everyone that's going to see this is going to be, again, inspired by everything that you're doing. And I really appreciate you for all that you do. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Where's your water at, girl?
Stay hydrated, folks. Stay hydrated, folks. P.S. That cup, I like it. The mug, it's very nice.
I don't got my microphone and my mic flag, so I'm gonna put on my mug.
Tea of choice.
Roasted dandelion. Judge me for it, but it's very nutty. It tastes similar to I don't know how to describe it. Maybe like a very lightly caffeinated coffee, but then it's not. It's herbal. It has no caffeine inside. What is your tea of choice?
Tea of choice. I like lavender tea a lot. Yeah. And of course your regular mint tea. Yeah.
Green tea for me.
Yeah. But okay, cool. Anyhow, it was nice talking to you. Thank you.
You too, girl. Thank you. I'm excited to see everything that's coming your way, and keep it going.
For sure. No doubt. You do the same.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Thank you for listening to the Meliza Hernandez Show. Be sure to subscribe to all podcast platforms and youtube.com/HernandezMeliza. You can also contact us at melizahernandez.com.